What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video, and today some more Dragon Ball FighterZ, and I want to talk about the problems with Zamasu. So unlike last week's character Cooler, who people think they have a pretty positive perception of him as a character, he's just like not that popular. I think Zamasu, especially in like the US scene, is not looked at as a good character. So I wanted to talk about why that is and his good points and weak points. Of course, if you like the guides, match analysis, and everything else I'm putting out on this channel, definitely consider liking this video or subscribing to the channel if you already have not. It does help the channel grow and I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. So unlike Cooler, when Zamasu came out, he was pretty popular. In that pack, it was Zamasu and Vegito. Vegito was not so popular in tournament play at all in season 1, at least in the US scene, but Zamasu saw a lot of play initially when he released. Similar to Cooler though, in season 2 he fell off really hard and he basically saw almost no tournament play at all. Now, Dragon Ball FighterZ Season 2 was a bit more of a condensed game, partly because unlike the current season of Dragon Ball FighterZ where we have 3 assists to choose from, we only had 1. So you had to not only think about what characters to pick from, which there wasn't that huge of a selection anyway, but then also what assists you needed, because amongst those characters, you did not have a lot of options for assists. So for example, if you wanted to play a beam assist as your last character in Season 2, you really did not have a lot of options. You could play SSJ Goku, you could play Goku Black, or you could play characters with the beam-like assists like Android 21 or Broly. Now, while there's some people like me who just won't play Zamasu because they can't stand him, they don't like anything about him. I don't like the way he talks, I don't like the way he looks, he talks too much. The main reason that people cited in Season 2 were the usual for characters like this. In Season 2, just like I mentioned of Cooler last week, basically all the tall characters in the game weren't played simply for that reason. Being tall in this game used to expose you to really dangerous 50-50s called fuzzy offense, fuzzy overheads, fuzzy mix-ups. This is a mix-up that takes advantage of how the game treats you when you're stuck blocking and try to switch from high to low. So it made it extra easy to mix up Zamasu. This was the problem for a lot of people in Season 2. But despite them removing this in Season 3, people still don't play him. So he has to have some type of weakness that was not just being tall. Before we go into his weak points, let's go into his good points, reasons why you should play him. 1, he does a lot of damage. I don't know these combos at all, but he definitely melts your life bar when he hits you. It's a combination of a couple of things. 1, he's able to combo into the super multiple times. In Season 1 of Dragon Ball FighterZ, there was ways that you can do multiple supers with the same character. So you don't see this too often from that many characters anymore. And a really good example is SSJ Goku. He was one of the shining examples of this in Season 1. So here's actually an old combo that you would used to do, where you're going to do a combo into the air Tatsu, into the air level 1, and you have enough time to go into the ground level 1. So make sure you peep the damage there. It did 4,207. So the second super did significantly less damage than the first one. Now compare this to just doing his air level 1 into anyone else's level 1. So we're going to use Zamasu since he's on the other team. So we're going to do it, and now he's going to do this, and this did 4,747. So significantly more damage. My theory always was that they were worried that people would just pick a small pool of characters that just do this so they can kill quickly. So now, instead, they have certain characters slotted out as these characters are the ones that are allowed to use multiple supers in one combo, and you have to pick them if you want to do it. Zamasu is one of these characters. Another nice thing about Zamasu is that the third hit of his auto combo is a grab. Normally, characters need a little assistance to get this off, but Zamasu can actually do it on his own. It's also a medium starter too, so if you use it, you get a really high damage combo, and the other option you can use to hit people in case you think you're going to jump or mash is a medium as well. Not only that, he also has a 2L low that everybody wants. If you have a high block stun assist, or even choose to do super dash plus assist, it's pretty easy to set up 2L low with him. This pairs really well with his level 3 because he has a lot of frame advantage. He has a bunch of ways to get high lows off this. He's also good at hitting people mid-screen because he has an instant cross-up. It's very, very fast. So he's able to use this along with other mid-screen tools to condition. You can get them scared and try to continue to stagger pressure, or you can try to sneak in a Dragon Rush in addition to the cross-up option. Assist-wise, he has one that really stands out. He has this. It's a beam-like assist that hits jump height. And finally, something that's kind of unique to him, his stall game. So he has this flight move that you could use both for mix-ups, but also for neutral. Remember that things like Broly's anti-air grab is pretty rare in this game, and there are not a lot of characters that can actually get up here and chase him effectively without using things like Super Dash. You have to remember as well that every time you Super Dash to somebody, it is a guessing game. And Zamasu actually is pretty good after a blocked super dash in the air. So let's talk about a couple of his issues. So one of the big ones that still gets memed today, first of all, is his Ki Blast. His Ki Blast doesn't hit crouchers and he could only fire one. This is a pretty big deal because it affects his ground control and it really encourages him to jump because he does have a pretty good air Ki Blast. Zamasu offhand is basically the only character that has a problem like this. There are other characters who have different issues with their Ki Blast, but it never has to do with them straight up whiffing because of a character being in a certain state. It's usually something like they point their Ki Blast or it doesn't go full screen, or they can only shoot one, or they could only shoot multiple and not control how much. It's never, it just misses all the time. This means on the ground, he's encouraged to either use moves like this, which are very good but have quite a bit of startup, or he has to play a mid-range game, and his mid-range game is mildly suspect. So let's take a look. These moves are pretty good, but the L version does not go so far. It is extremely fast though. It's 15 frames, which is very good. Now, the M and EX versions go further, but the problem is if you use these moves as you would other lariats plus assists, when you hit, you generally won't get a combo without meter. So for a direct comparison, we'll use SSJ Goku A assists. So if I use the L version, he does get a combo, but remember that you can't do it from that far. If I use the medium version, then SSJ Goku appears really far behind. Now with Bardock, I have no such problem ever. On hit, I just get a combo, and on block, I just block. The good news is the threat of these moves are pretty strong though, because the medium version is pretty fast, the EX version is really fast, and he has pretty big normals to pull up on you with. This is Dragon Ball FighterZ though, so any character you say who has a big normal, there's always a character of a bigger one, or an even bigger one. So this brings us into another problem, and it's going to be a pretty common theme, especially with these really underplayed characters. There are characters that do what Zamasu does in a safer way. So even though we talked about this issue he has when controlling space on the ground, he's not bad at it again, but there are characters that are better. So you might think, okay, where should I put him on a team? Because one of his good points is his damage. So you might think, oh, I want him to do a lot of damage and kill a character quickly, but then you have to deal with this mid-range kind of issue. He has good assists, but then he gets into that group of, I want to play him for the assist, and I don't want him to do anything at all. So in Zamasu's case, there are characters that have covered both the damage thing on point and the support thing better than he does. So on point, the best examples I think are characters like Teen Gohan and Hit. Teen Gohan has a lot of stuff that Zamasu has. For example, the fast cross-up mid-screen. He's able to hit you with 50-50s because he has a 12 low. He has a lot of ways of hitting them. But his mid-screen game is much more consistent because he doesn't have that issue that Zamasu has with the way his medium kick hits. Hit is not such a crazy mix-up character, but his stalling is amazing because you can't super dash at him in the air because he has a counter. And of course, both these characters shit out damage. There's no other way I could say it. Now, as far as support characters, his A assist is a beam-like assist. So you have all the beams in the game. So not just the old ones like SSJ Goku and Goku Black, but then all the new ones like Trunks, Krillin, Yamcha, Base Goku C, Kid Busi. But then you have other really popular picks like Android 21A, Z Broly A. So despite him having a really good assist for support, there are so many options for characters with a similar assist. So in the end, despite Zamasu's strengths, he gets overshadowed in a lot of ways by more popular, overall more stable characters. He's definitely still a character that you can play, especially if you enjoy him, but for the most part in the competitive scene, he's really fallen off. Let me know what you guys think. As usual, if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.